class. Today we're going to talk about career exploration. So first thing on your desk is a pre-lesson survey. Please take a minute and fill out the survey. Okay, once you're done, pass those surveys in and I'll collect those. So who can tell me what is a career? What does career mean? Ryan?
It's the place where you work.
Exactly, it's what you choose to do for a job later in life. So why, if that's for later in life, why do we want to do that now? We're in 8th grade. What do we care about a career now? Any ideas? Well, one reason is if you start to have an idea of what you might like to do, then you can choose classes in high school that are along those lines and start actually a pathway towards that career that would, of course, culminate with your college studies. Can that change? Of course. You're in 8th grade. You have many, many ideas, many interests that can change over the years. So it's just a start, just in starting to think about what I might want to do. How do you come up with what you might want to do? Any ideas? How about, what are you interested in? How about what subjects do you like in school? That could be a good starting point. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. So as you can see on here, career exploration has a whole lot of information within that, what that means. And of course we're talking about our work, occupations, another word for that, or career. All of those mean the job that you have when you're working full-time. So we have things on here, the smaller points are types of jobs like multimedia developer, computer software engineer, telephone line installer, doctor, pharmacist, you name it. Think about what your parents do. Those are their careers. So, first thing we want to look at are your interests. As I said a minute ago, you start with, what do I like to do? And then you go from there. Because obviously, if you're going to be working at a job for 30, 40 years of your life, hopefully it's something that you enjoy doing. So, we're going to start with examining what are our interests. Maybe you like the arts, theater, music, painting. Maybe you like to help other people, or you like teamwork. Maybe you like to fix things. Maybe you enjoy science, or writing and reading, or the outdoors. Lots of careers in the outdoors even. Maybe you like communications. You like to talk a lot, so make a career of it. What kind of careers are in communications? Things like radio personality, TV, even things that like spokespeople for entertainers. So what we're going to do is, in a minute, we're going to put all of our interests into the computer. You take your interests, you dump it into the computer, and then the computer will tell us career options. So for example, mechanic. You like to fix things? Mechanic. Engineer. They also fix things, put things together. Teacher, doctor, police officer. Just a few ideas. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to use this program called Career Cruising. And Career Cruising, first off, has this big, huge information database that we're going to start to explore. We're just going to explore one little part today. And that little part is called Matchmaker. So what we do is we're going to, in career cruising, the matchmaker part is going to take all of our interests when you answer these questions that it has. So you're going to answer a bunch of questions, and it's going to take all of that information and pop out the career options that match those interests. So when you're going through and answering these questions, you want to be real. Okay, don't just pick whatever answer you want. Like, don't just say, I'm just going to put 1 on every answer, because that's not going to give you any realistic information. So when you read these questions, really think about, what should I answer on this? And, well, it doesn't really take a huge amount of time to answer each one, but do think about it. So what we're going to do, first thing, we're now going to get logged onto this together so that you can get to the part where you answer your questions. So go to careercruising.com. Now, all of you have a password, and I forgot to give you your password. All of you have a password, so there's 2 logins. The first login is the main one. So you're going to put, for username, type in North, and for password, type in Gwinnett. And the spelling is on the overhead for you. Yes?
Is this an S or a 5?
That's an S. Okay, then the next screen goes to, at the top, you'll see login. And you do the down arrow. And then you'll put in your username and your password, which was on that paper in front of you. And of course, you will put in it with a GC dash, that's important, and the S before your birth date is important. Once you get that done, click Login. And that will take you, you'll see your name up at the top, and that will take you to this page, and you want to choose the very first item, Explore My Interests. That's going to take us to the matchmaker that I mentioned a few slides back. And the matchmaker is what does the interests to the career options. So you will go ahead and click Start Matchmaker. Okay, so the questions are going to look just like this. This is your intro screen of how it's going to look when you get into it. So for each question, it's going to look like this. You'll click the dislike very much or dislike, does not matter, like, or like very much. Now you will give it a name, the matchmaker label. You can call it whatever you want. You can say my interests, you could say first time through, whatever you want to call it. Now, anyone have any questions about how you're going to rate the questions and what the dislike very much versus dislike, what those mean, or how you would differentiate between them? No questions? Okay, awesome. So when you are ready, go ahead and click Start Now. And I will give you time to complete those questions. I'll walk around the room and if you have any questions. Okay, so now what you have is you have a screen with a bunch of information on it. So first thing on the left, you have career clusters. Anyone want to take a guess at what that means? Okay, so a career cluster would be most of your interests are clustered or grouped in this type of field. So when I did mine were in human services, which would be professions that help people, and education and training. That's kind of amazing, right? Because here I am, a counselor who's in a helping profession and in a school, which is education. So when I did my questions, this kind of matched me pretty good. Yours, of course, are going to be very different based on what your interests are. Then there's also at the bottom, it shows the level of education generally needed for those career clusters. So for human services and education training, I would need to have a high school degree and most likely a 4-year college degree, which is true. All teachers, all counselors need at least a 4-year college degree, if not more. So then on the main part of the screen, the majority of the screen, you have your results. Your top matched careers. Now again, I think I mentioned this before, but does this mean that today, if this popped up, these careers, that this is what you have to do? 10 years from now, this is the career you're going to have? Absolutely not. This is just an idea, and this is based on what your interests are today, in 8th grade. 2 years from now, you might have different interests. You might find that, oh wow, I didn't used to like science and math, and now I absolutely love it. Or I would never really thought I was an art kind of person, but after I'd taken this class in 9th grade, I really like art. And now you have a whole new interest set. So can this change? Absolutely. Does this change after adults already have one career? Absolutely. So nothing is set in stone, but it gives you a good starting point. Okay, so before we go any further, I have a sheet that I'm going to pass out that I need all of you to fill out. And on this sheet, what it has is some questions. What were your top 3 interests that you put into Matchmaker? And then fill out what are the top 3 career options that the computer showed you based on those. Then what you're going to do is the next one, you're going to draw a line between each interest and the career that it matches. So for example, one of my careers was counselor. One of my interests is helping people. So my interest would be helping people. My career choice or career option was counselor. Draw a line between helping and counselor. So now you fill those out and draw your lines. And I'll give you just a minute to do that. Okay, then the last thing you can fill in, are you interested in any of these career choices that were matched to you in this model? Were you surprised with any of the results? Just go ahead and write a few sentences down about your results. So does anyone want to share what their interests were and the careers that came out of Matchmaker? Ryan?
I got art, tech, and graphic design, and it spit out web design.
Perfect. That actually sounds like it really does match. You've got the art and the graphic design and technology, and that all of those things go into web design and web development. So that sounds like a perfect match. Does anyone else want to share right now? Okay. We will move on. So the next thing is I want to give you a preview. When you move on, when you choose one of those particular career choices that it gave you, for example, I chose the career counselor. When you click on that, then you get this screen. And this is what we're going to be going over in our next core curriculum class. And that will tell you more specifics about each one of those careers. As you can see, it's got things on the left here, so that at a glance, that tells you in general what is this career all about. And then it's got the earnings range, level of education, if it was suitable for you, because as you'll learn in career cruising, you can search on every kind of career you can think of that's in their database, whether or not it's suited for you. And then there's a job description, the working conditions. Anyone have an idea what working conditions means? Yes, Ryan.
What kind of environment your job hosts, and if they have an office or not, or if the office is open, or...
Exactly, that's perfectly right. So, is it an outdoor job? Is it an indoor job? Am I sitting at a desk all day? Am I on my feet all day? Work conditions. And then the other things, the earnings, the education level that you need, which I mentioned before, and then also related careers. So that is something that we will get into more in depth in our next meeting. For right now, we've got a couple minutes before class ends, so go ahead and start just searching around. And if you have any questions, I'll be walking around the room. Thank you.